Lines only, yeah. Jermell Charlo does it again. Not only does he win, but he puts up them numbers. That's what we talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Charlo Castano peaked at 832K, 832,000 viewers, making it Showtime's most watched fight in nearly 3 years. For starters, bravo to Showtime, PBC, Al Heyman, and of course the man of the hour, Jermell Lines Only, Charlo. Now, if you guys know anything about business, and hopefully I could shed a little bit of light on business and boxing in this video, make sure you guys subscribe. These numbers are the highest in about 3 years since Deontay Wilder knocked out Dominic Breazeale, oh my God, at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn in May of 2019. And if you guys remember that timepiece, Wilder had just taken a meeting with DAZN. DAZN was new-ish at the time, and he was a very sought out man. DAZN, they offered him like a 2 or 3 fight deal. This one, Wilder was undefeated. Wilder had a draw with Tyson Fury, and you know, that was a big fight. And he had the meeting with DAZN. They were trying to get him, and he ultimately stayed with his team and stayed with Showtime, declining DAZN and knocking out Breazeale in the first round. The other thing that's important here is Wilder's fight literally lasted a round. We know what Wilder comes to do. So when you're talking about average durations and stuff like that, it's kind of tricky if someone gets a first round knockout, because people are tuned in because it's a Wilder fight, and then they don't have to stay long. That's why Wilder says don't blink, grab your popcorn, and those types of things. Versus Charlo versus Castano, it was scheduled for 12 rounds and it went a good action-packed 10 rounds until it was stopped. So that means for a longer period of time, as opposed to Wilder's fight, and this is not a knock on anyone, Wilder just handles business quick with his vicious right hand and left hand and knockout power. So it's a different dichotomy of the fight, if you will, based on the fact that Wilder's fight didn't really last too long. So people only had to be tapped in. You know, we live in a microwave society, TikTok society, Instagram, Snapchat, and all this type of stuff. So people have short attention spans. And that's great for a knockout artist like Wilder, because he don't get paid by the hour. And for his fight, that particular fight on Showtime, he handled business quick, one round. So people only had to watch for a duration. Versus Charlo Castano, that means people were really enjoying it and probably talking about it on social media, and people were hearing about it. So they're like, oh man, I got to turn this on. And that's how it usually goes. And then it becomes more of a snowball effect. So since this fight had a whole 10 rounds, that means that having such a high number, this is a positive thing. And this is definitely good for Showtime and a good indication for PBC. Charlo Castano peaking at 832,000. And it also had a very high audience retention rate. The average audience retention rate for the telecast was 756,000. So great numbers by Showtime. To further break this down for boxing fans and fans of my channel, peaking at 832,000, Jedi Goodman, I told you to follow him. He does the numbers. He typically does a lot of numbers, not just boxing, but UFC, things like that. So you see 9/11, never forget 9/11 AM, July 20th, 2021, just last year when Charlo and Castano fought the first time. It looks like it averaged 422 and then it peaked at 536. So any of my math wizards, you guys will be able to do the math and tell me what percentage that is up, going from 422 and that was your average to 756,000. That's a significant, that's almost a 50% jump up, right? So that's, what is it, 42% ish, you know, increase. Then they peaked, the first Charlo Castano fight peaked at 536 versus 832. So in business, if you know anything about business, this is what you want. You want to trend up instead of trending down when you're looking at your vital statistics. And that's Showtime in boxing, and Fox and PBC. They're doing it like no others. American companies, and Showtime had released their schedule. I told you it was a great schedule, and that's really the recipe in boxing. You have Triller, and they got boxing in a triangle. You know, they're trying to triangulate fights and triad fights and all this other stuff, and versus battles and rap concerts before the fight, and then boxing after, or boxing before, and then the Jada Kiss and the Locks and Dipset. People are trying all this herky-jerky different stuff, gimmicky stuff in boxing. Eddie Hearn got pyrotechnics and, you know, these elaborate backdrops at the press conference. But none of that matters. Spending all that extra money, none of that matters. The thing that fans are truly looking for in the niche sport of boxing is a great fight. And that's what Showtime is giving you. They're giving you great fights. Like, let's just be real. Look at to compare Steven Espinoza as a head of Showtime and, you know, the promotional people like TGB and Brittany Goosen and Tom Brown versus Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, any artists want to remain artists, don't want to have to worry about the promoter, executive producer, all in the video, dancing, then you got to come to PBC, you got to come to Showtime. You don't typically see Steven Espinoza all in the video. You don't see Tom Brown and Brittany Goosen all in the video, but they're still producing. Jermell Charlo, he's an outspoken individual in boxing. His coach, he'll give you what you need, you know, soft-spoken Derek James. And, you know, that, to me, that's the formula. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Charlo's fit is raw right here. You see that? Bro, his outfit is dope. So he got the pizzazz, flash, and exciting style, boxer, puncher. His brothers came out. You know what I mean? Errol Spence, his brother, his real big bro, Big Charlo. Jermall came out. He had some celebrities like Chris Brown in the house. And it's just going to show you, see, there's C Breezy. Read up in it, and I'm living in. Right? And that's boxing. Boxing has always been synonymous with like hip hop and R&B. You see Tank signed to Mayweather Promotions, but you see the singer Tank, Maybe I Deserve Tank, and you know, he's been at Floyd Mayweather gym and things like that. So hell of a job by everyone involved. Charlo proves that he's bankable. People, old media, they keep hating. They keep hating on these brothers from Texas, right? But they still putting up. As Jermell Charlo says, he is stud, right? Putting up numbers. Here's another ego fun fact. I was at Jermell and Jermall's fight in Fox when PBC first did a deal with Fox, and it was the first ever fight to open up that new partnership. And to this day, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can fact check me if you think my knowledge and memory is not good enough, but Charlo brothers, that first fight where Jermell fought Tony Harrison the first time, and Maul fought late replacement because his first opponent failed a PED test and the fight got canceled. He ended up fighting Matt Korobov. That is the highest ratings that they've done on Fox. You know, it's definitely in the top 3. So the Charlos continue to show you who they are and show you that they have bankable star power, and they're just real fun to watch. Like even the post-fight press conference, very fun to watch. So big respects, great numbers, great indication. To further give you guys a little bit more perspective, which I love to do on my channel, make sure you guys subscribe. Listen, in the last 30 days, I looked at my analytics. 50% of the people that watch my videos on YouTube for free subscribe. The other 50%, I don't know about y'all. Y'all didn't subscribe. This is your reminder. This is what I do full time, and this is my baby. So help others find the content by subscribing, and it helps the YouTube algorithm when they see you guys subscribing and engaging, liking, and sharing the content. Thank you. So another great sign for Showtime is, I mean, it's an uptick in numbers. So I already talked about that, but Charlo Castano peaking at 832, just to give you further perspective. Top Rank had a show with Shakur Stevenson that people were checking for, and that was Oscar Valdez. It was Unification. And on ESPN, those numbers were an average 1.17 million for that telecast. And that was up. So that was one fight, and it was up 55%. But if you look at Top Rank on ESPN, the average of their fights, it looks like 752,000. And we're talking about ESPN, which is a linear involved in, like, you could get ESPN on basic cable versus Showtime Boxing is premium cable, just like HBO. You couldn't watch The Sopranos unless you had a HBO subscription, or periodically they did a 30-day free trial or something. So on a premium network that you have to pay an extra $10, $11, $13 for, Jermell doing these numbers. So it just goes to show you, you have good product, people will tune in. And Showtime, they've been rocking. They got David Benavidez up next, and then Gervonta Tank Davis. Boom, you never know. Subscribe. And I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.